Okay.
All right, ready?
Right then.
Everybody, let's put on our podcasting hats.
Okay.
It's on. The hat is on. The hat is on. And that'll be the beginning right there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cranked and Ranked. We're back ranking another band discography. What did we do last time? What was last time?
Danger
was last time. And
we're taking a violent left turn into grunge territory today, boys and girls,
but everyone
in between.
We like to vary it up. And it's no fun just to talk about the same kind of music over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
I see people out there on the internet that are either podcasters or just like TikTokers or whatever, and they pigeonhole themselves into being I'm the metal guy. And every time I see that, I go, man, I hope they're having fun with that, because I see it and I go, how constricting is that you just have to be metal all the time?
and you know what as well, like there's band focused podcasts that I absolutely love, like Metal Up Your Podcast Croissant, shows like that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. When we started this show, I specifically, after being a podcast listener of about a year at that point, I'd come to the realization that I can't talk about the same band every time. It's got to be something new.
Yeah, it's like that's exactly how I felt. And I said this in a video that I posted, but I went to go see that Metallica documentary, the Metallica Saved My Life.
I still need to see that.
And there's one particular segment where they're talking about like the super fans and their collections. And there was one guy, and you're looking around his house, and literally everything in this room is Metallica. And my brain immediately goes, "Where's all the other bands you listen to?" You know, that. Like that's why I feel like maybe I'm not super fan material, because somebody could look at me and be like, "Oh, you're such a Metallica stan." I'm like, "Well, I am," but at the same time, I'm like, I can't devote myself to just one band. You know, it's like there's so much good music out there that I don't have. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not going to have a whole room. And now, if I had like a fucking mansion with 50 rooms, sure, I'd have a Metallica room.
I would 100% invest in a Paul Stanley shrine if I had the budget for it.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Anyway, so it's like, so we vary things up. So last time was Danger, and then now we're moving into the late 80s, early 90s. Well, I guess it's around the same time, really. Like Danger started around the same time that L7 started.
Actually, you want to know something shocking? The first L7 album predates the first Danger album. So that's again, it's that late 80s, early 90s coexistence thing that I just fucking adore.
Yeah, and then 40 years removed, it's even more of a clear thing to me that all of that music was good. And you don't need to be on one side or the other, i.e. me not wanting to just talk about one type of music, because I'm just like, that's not what I do when I'm home listening to stuff. I don't, if I when I play records on the weekends, if I play 2 thrash metal albums in a row, I have to move on to something else. As much as I love that sound, I'm like, cool, I got a couple thrash metal albums. Let's do some grunge, or let's do some hip hop or something else. So that's just me. It's not wrong to be into just one thing. I'm just saying I don't want you out there to feel like you need to just be into one thing. You can be open to many things.
Speaking of,
I was going to say L7, but go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, speaking of being into lots of different things, I've gone through a little bit of a Doctor Who renaissance this year. Okay. And I'm now sending you a link to what I've bought with my birthday money this year. I hope the link comes up.
All right, guys.
Because I think you'll get a kick out of this.
This is the Doctor Who segment.
Yeah.
All right, I'm checking my... come on.
So I thought to myself, there has to be some inner child healing.
Oh, wow.
And I have bought the Daleks Parliament set.
For the podcast listeners, it is a box set of 10 Daleks.
10 Dalek figurines. And it's fucking cool.
They're 8 centimeters tall each.
Yeah. and they're just such a. They're just such an icon, you know, and I really, really, really wanted to decorate my flat with them. And
it's so funny how they're so iconic and cool looking, but if you try to be realistic, they're not very well made. Like like they can't do a whole lot. I guess eventually they fly in some of the Doctor Who, right?
Yeah, you know what? There's this everybody, you know, since the new Doctor Who reboot. I mean, I say new Who. I mean, that's been around. That's been going now since 2005. That makes. Do you know what? Right, this has started to make me feel fucking like
20 years.
Time is passing, and it's frightening me now because
yeah,
when Doctor Who came back, I was 7 years old. I'm now 27. So me coming to grips with the fact that the modern Dalek is now 20 years old is really fucking with my head. But like
the original Dalek is like 60 years old or some shit.
yeah, the one with the blue spheres on it.
Well, originally, what did the Daleks show up in the black and white show at first?
Yeah. I think it was the second episode or something.
Oh wow, that was like because I watched Doctor Who when I was a kid because of my brother, but I liked those episodes the best with Daleks or Cybermen or something like that.
Yeah, Daleks are just top tier, man. You can't go wrong with those.
And I almost got like bored when there was like other villains. I'm just like, because like what was it? The Master, was that one of them? I was always just like, Master's kind of lame, really. Let's bring the Daleks back.
you know what? Have you ever watched the Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant era?
No. I don't. All I know is I watched like the first few episodes of the first season of the reboot, and it just didn't. This was years ago too, and it just didn't do anything for me. So I never went back and watched it anymore.
give it another go. And you know what? Start with the episode Dalek. Okay. That episode, if you're not sold by that, I don't know, man, because that fucking episode, I remember seeing a Dalek in Waterstones, which is at the time it was called Ottakers. It was a bookshop, but they changed to Waterstones. This is a chain in the UK.
Okay.
But every time you would walk past it, the gun would spray smoke at you and go exterminate. And it would spray
How do you get one
like
of those?
oh, dude! Like I've wanted all my life to have a full blown official Dalek I can ride around in.
Yeah.
You know, I would be if I got the chance to ride around in a Dalek. Do you know what? I'm coming right out and saying it. My two Make-A-Wish situation.
Your gem will fix it. Because that guy turned out great, right?
Oh, man. Oh, God. Jesus.
For those of you who don't know, look it up.
Yeah. But my two, if you know, God forbid, anything fucking ever happens to me where I'm in a Make-A-Wish situation, it's play drums for Metallica live.
Oh, yeah.
Or ride around in a Dalek and terrorize the population with it.
I know this is probably something that's already happened, and I would just have to Google it. But if I ever got, if I was like a huge Doctor Who fan, but even if I'm not, if I ever got like paralyzed from the waist down, I'd be like, can you make me look like Davros?
Dude! Holy
just
shit.
Give me whatever his thing is going. Because it wasn't Davros like a half Dalek or something?
Yeah,
almost?
yes. He was. I'm pretty sure.
This is not the Doctor Who podcast, by the way. This is a music one. Trust me.
he created the Daleks.
Yes, I remember that from Genesis of the Daleks, which I watched many times when I was a kid.
Yeah, and anyway, bada boom, bada bing.
So like you're gonna ride around in a Dalek. I'm gonna be Davros. Why not? L7.
Yes, L7. We're back in business, baby.
So we're ranking the entire discography of L7, which is 7 albums. Funny enough,
that feels fitting, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's also certain bands have such a lasting reputation that if you're not, like, for me, you know, I didn't completely keep up with L7, so I assumed they had more, and I'm like, oh really? I didn't know there was like such a gap between the most recent album and the one before. But yeah, Seven. I mean, very influential band, and predating. Like, this is, you know, for a band like this predates Hole and Babes in Toyland.
Yeah.
Because I think Babes in Toyland's first album wasn't until 1990, and I think Hole was 89 or something like that, somewhere around there. But
and funnily enough, this isn't the first time we've talked about L7, because Susie Gardner is the lady vocalist on Slip It In by Black Flag.
yes, she is. Yeah, we did a Black Flag episode. Yeah, so now we're on to L7, which is we normally talk about where the bands came into our lives, and I think because I was a young teenager at the time, my story is like a lot of other people's stories, where I heard Pretend We're Dead, saw the music video for Pretend We're Dead, and that was, I think I knew who they were prior to that, but I don't think I had heard them until that song, and so I ended up getting Bricks Are Heavy on CD, and you know, it is a transportative. It's an album that I listen to and I feel like I'm in the 90s again, because there's certain albums that I have little, and I don't know why the brain works this way, but I have literal memories where I have a Walkman on, walking down, and I even remember what hallway in my school I'm walking down, listening to the L7 album after I got it. And I think, and it's so weird, because that's like, why, like, I have one for that. I have one for like Jar of Flies. That's another one that I can put you in an actual place listening to it in my headphones. And it's not even a first time listen. It's just some weird memory that went boop and just got burned into my brain. It's strange.
Yeah. I have this weird Rain Man-like ability to tell you where I was when I heard every fucking album ever. It's weird.
For a lot of times, it's easy for me because I was at home, and the first time I heard it was on MTV. So, pretty easy.
Well, I tell you what, we're returning to Old Reliable for this episode, because guess where I first heard L7? I'm going to let you guess.
Mario Kart. I'm just kidding.
So close.
GTA San Andreas.
Funny, actually, it was Wii Sports Resort. No.
Wii Sports. There was a song, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but there was a song on Wii Sports that...
Dude, all the Wii music slaps. But
like, one day, my kid and I were playing Wii Sports, and then we just left it on one game that nothing was happening, but this song kept playing, and then we left the house, and we were literally walking to the store, and both of us were going it's because it just kept going in a loop.
I love all of the memes surrounding dun, 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 dun. This is going to be part of someone's commute.
Which is, it's funny that, like, you know, like, that was later in life when because that's the Wii, and I didn't get a Wii when it came out. It was a little bit later, but I still have those songs. I think it's because that's the music that would play when you were creating your Me, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, and I was always very indecisive, so I know that song is just played like 5,000 times while I was like, I saw a clip. God damn it, we're gonna get started with L7 in a minute. All right, guys. I saw a clip from there's a show, and I honestly never even watched this show, but I'm interested because every time I see a clip, it's funny. But there's a show called Nirvana the Band, or Nirvana the Band the Show, or something like that. And it's not about Nirvana at all. But it's like a sketch comedy show or a comedy show, and I think it's Canadian. I want to say, I don't know, but there's a clip where the guy is singing along to, I don't know if it's N64 music, but he starts singing the game titles, and he's created an entire song with the game titles along with the song. And it gets more ridiculous as the little sketch goes on, but I'm just like, I watch that all the way through every time, and I don't know why. It's just so funny. Anyway, I also love there's a video where a guy, like an older guy, is booting up the GoldenEye game, and he's just like vibing off the music. I was not a big gamer at the time at all, but I had friends that were, and they were obsessed with GoldenEye, obsessed with it.
It's weird that a licensed game quite literally changed the game so hard. Like, it's just like the first person shooter thing. Imagine, because licensed games, they're kind of a thing of the past now. Like, I can remember my generation was probably the last to have it, whereas now games are so detailed now that they're kind of blockbusters on their own. So when a game comes out, it's like its own standalone thing. So people will be like, "Oh, it's fucking GTA 6. It's fucking Cyberpunk. It's Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead Redemption, stuff like this. That's completely independent of any independent property other than its own." But when you look back, like I can remember playing the Disney Pixar Cars game for fucking hours when I was a kid.
Two of my favorite Nintendo games from back in the day were Batman, the original Batman, and Gremlins 2. Those were like, I loved both of those games. Honestly, if they did those kind of games still, I might still play. But it can't be all like Marvel and shit. Like, it's got to be like, here's a Mad Max game, or here's, just like, like I love the fact that like any movie that I love pretty much from the 80s and early 90s, there's a video game of it, and some of them are real shitty, but it doesn't matter. Like, I'll watch online. I watched gameplay of the Wayne's World game. And I'm like, this game's awful, but I can't stop watching this.
There's a website where you can play a bunch of OG Game Boy games just online. Because they transition seamlessly to just being able to use the fucking keyboard. So I mean,
anyway,
the legality of that, whether or not. Anyway, cycling back around to where I first heard L7,
which was a video game. So there is a connection here, folks. Okay,
there is a connection, but I want you to guess what it is.
It's GTA San Andreas.
It is, in fact, GTA San Andreas.
The alternative station or whatever.
Radio X.
Radio X.
And the cool thing about this song.
Which one was it? Pretend We're Dead? Yeah. Okay.
Pretend We're Dead. Is just like, I remember it I remember it entering my head that something could be heavy but also kind of chill. It's got that, and I just remember sitting there playing it like, oh hell yeah, this is cool as shit. Yeah. I mean, San Andreas is where I've discovered some of my favorite stuff ever. So, yeah.
And we did a ranking of the.
We did a whole episode on the radio stations of that. So yeah, I mean, where are we at? You got anything else to say before we get into things?
No. It's L7 is a band that like I sort of jumped off the L7 thing pretty quick because I didn't think Hungry for Stink was very good, and so
okay.
So I've only just heard random songs throughout the years that, and some of them I've liked, some of them I didn't like, and so this was a nice way to like get to know everything they've done. So let's do it. Let's rank all 7 L7 albums from least good to most good, and as usual, Eddie Sparxx starting us off.
Cool. I'm gonna start things off at number 7 with Slap Happy.
Okay.
So Slap Happy is like the last album of the original run, and there is a formula with L7. There are returning characteristics on every album. You know, there are production changes and there are songwriting changes too, but there is a core sound to L7. Like if you played something for me on the guitar, I'd be able to say, yeah, it's very L7 sounding.
Yeah, there's a lot of their stuff it's kind of a nice simplicity to it, but it's also a little bit of a hindrance to them because I'm pretty sure they've written songs where they just played a riff they had already played in another song.
Yeah.
So, but when you're dealing with this small amount of riff ideas, it's bound to happen. So.
Yeah.
Not only that, you know what? I'm sorry to interrupt already.
That's okay.
But not only that, the very first song I ever wrote, all the way back to this had to have been like, I don't know, 1990 maybe. And I was writing songs on like a keyboard. I had a keyboard that had a guitar setting on it.
Yeah. And
so I started writing songs, and the very first song I ever wrote was meant to be funny. And so I was able to program the drums and I recorded it with vocals, and the song was called "Coming Back from Hell." That was my very first song I ever wrote, and the lyrics were like, "Coming back from hell, I'm gonna kill your daughter, I'm gonna kill you, give me your money." And I was just, I was just trying to like be goofy, but also make a song. And the riff to that song is the riff for Shit List from L7. So literally a 12-year-old kid on a keyboard was also writing the same kind of riffs that L7 were writing. Because it's that was the riff of that first song.
Yeah.
And very simple and easy to have a riff blur kind of thing going on. But still they managed to make some great shit with that, so.
Yeah, and you know what? Something I've really noticed is that so many L7 songs would make perfect cop chase music.
Oh yeah,
like a lot of that it's kind of tempos. They fit perfectly in that realm of escaping the police in something like GTA San Andreas. I remember I had back in the day a playlist of like stuff that fit the era that would fit a police chase, and I'd play that while I played the game. So it was like kind of an extension of the game's soundtrack to where it was like, oh shit, I have 4 police stars now and the SWAT team are after me, but I click on the playlist. Nice. It's a fun feeling.
The real test is to do something illegal and have the cops chase you and then put that soundtrack on, and that's the true test. So only the real motherfuckers will do that test.
Yeah.
Not
our most devoted fan out there test that.
Yeah.
Just joking.
It was a joke. Don't go break a law so the cops will chase you and you can play chase music. But make sure you film yourself when you're not doing it, because we don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This is where like that they forget that it's on shuffle with L7 and it plays all the slower songs. And they're like, God damn it, I got caught.
Yeah. Anyway, now I'm all like, it would be cool to like have a movie that just turns the whole idea like on its ass, and just like, there's this like brutal like car chase with machine guns, but it's like Wonderwall playing like while or something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Gonna be the one.
That would be kind of cool. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So we're sorry. Slap Happy. There we go.
Yeah.
Back on track.
So at this point, contextually as well, like the band had downsized to a 3-piece after parting ways with their then new bass player at the time, I believe. And honestly, like this album, it feels like. The album before it, they got a little weird with things. Mm-hmm. That they began to really go out there with what they could do with the L7 sound.
Yes.
But ultimately, I feel like, I don't know, there's a part of me that feels like this album is like somewhat of a retreat.
Yes.
But not completely. So if this album had maybe released between Hungry for Stink and Beauty Process, I'd maybe feel a little different. But this album to me just feels like a teensy little bit of a step back of the evolution of what came before. And honestly, I don't have a huge load to talk about here with Slap Happy, because I've pretty much said it. I mean, I like it. I would give it maybe like a 6 or a 7. A 7 for L7's Slap Happy. So yeah. I'd put nothing here lower than a 7 for me, because it all kicks ass at some level.
I would put my number 7 lower than 7. I don't know what I would put it, but it's definitely an album I won't listen to ever again. Scatter the Rats from 2019.
That's my number 6, so we can camp out here for a little bit.
Cool. So yeah, it's 20 years after their previous album. And the OG lineup is back together. The band that was on like the first 3 albums or something like that, they're all back together. Well, no, the first album has a different drummer. So anyway, the classic lineup of L7 is back. And the biggest problem with this album for me is the production is fucking horrible. The drum sound is horrible. But the weird thing is that, like, I'm listening to it, and the first few songs, every song, I'm like, God, why does it sound so bad? And then I'll hear a song where, like, the drums actually sound good, and I was literally looking, like, did they have different producers? I'm like, no, it's all produced by one guy. So it was literally a guy that was all like, hey, let's just make it sound shitty. I know how to make it sound good, clearly, on some songs, but no, whatever. It needs to sound like shit. I don't get it, because it's not even a good, like, garagey lo-fi sound. It just sounds bad. And then there are some songs that I enjoyed on this, but the production makes them all sound like they're demos for the album that was supposed to come out. And there is also a lot of, like, retread on here, and it's for a return from a band for 20 years later, it's pretty weak sauce. And it was a real, because in this particular case, I listened to the albums beginning to end, first one all the way to this one, and getting to this one was I was just so, like, I was really looking forward to something cool, and it's, some of it is cool, but the stuff that could be cool, the production is just not good, and yeah, it's just it's fine. But it's not anything I'm ever going to want to go listen to again. But I'm glad they're back together. You know, that's the thing. It's really weird to have that juxtaposition of, I look at it and I go, I'm so glad that they're doing music and playing shows because they fucking rule. Cool. What'd you think of that last album? No. I'm glad they did it. I want them to keep doing things because I think they're an important, and I feel like the world's better when bands like L7 are still out there doing shit. Because they're very important to a lot of, I don't know if you've noticed, but over the past, like, I almost feel like it's post-pandemic. Post-pandemic, the amount of women in bands feels like it is fucking quadrupled, and I'm here for it. And I feel like all of them have to look at L7 and be like, well, shit, they're the fucking, there were other women in music prior to that, but I feel like L7 was the first, like, you could say, like, go back to, like, the fucking Runaways and shit, but I feel like even the Runaways still had the pop rock kind of thing, even though they were cool. Like, I like the Runaways, but I feel like L7 is probably the first, like, real ass fucking band.
Yeah, they weren't afraid to make it really raw and really up in your face.
Yeah, it was just, and so I feel their importance, is can't be overstated. But Scatter the Rats didn't do anything for me. So I don't know. You move on to your opinion of Scatter the Rats.
You've pretty much said everything I would have said. I liked it a little bit more than Slap Happy in terms of, I like that they're back.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that probably colored my opinion of it a little bit above Slap Happy, to where on Slap Happy it feels like the well was starting to run a little dry, whereas at least with Scatter the Rats it's like, we're back. But I feel kind of the same about them, to where the 5 above it I like more.
Sure.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much it, so we can just carry straight on.
Okay. And funny enough, the other album that I don't really like that much is the first album, which is my number 6.
That's my number 5.
Hey, which
Nice.
is L7, the self-titled L7 album from 1988. 1988, man. So first off, it's a different drummer in this band, and this was it was weird because when I started listening to this album, everything about it, L7, 1988, on Epitaph Records, produced by Brett Gurewitz from Bad Religion. So I was like, I'm going to love this. And everything about it was just like not quite good. Even the production. Overall, it's a pretty unremarkable and kind of forgettable album. And it almost feels like the songs were kind of half written, like they came up with a lot of them in the studio and just fleshed them out to 3-4 minutes or whatever. And unfortunately, Brett Gurewitz, who other albums that he's produced sound fantastic, but this one, like, the production sucks out like any urgency that these songs could have. So, you know, the idea that these could be more just jams kind of songs, it doesn't need to be verse, chorus kind of shit, but it just feels very like understated and not quite good. It's like, it almost feels like, you know, like probably seeing the band live at this point would have been fun as hell, because it sounds like these songs would be fun to see live. And it sounds like, I'm sure they were having fun making this, but the production and the idea that these songs are not fully formed songs, it just sort of feels like you're listening to like a band practice when they're working shit out. And so, I didn't not like this album, and I think maybe in certain situations I could put it on and enjoy it for what it is. But coming into this, knowing what L7 would end up doing, and because I had never listened to this first album before, I'd heard everything else except for Slap Happy, Scatter the Rats, and this one were the 3 that I had never really heard before. And coming into this with all the facts, I was like, this is going to be great, and it just wasn't. And I was like, oh, I was so bummed out. But every band's got to start somewhere, and not every band can like nail it from the get-go. But it's a fine album. What do you think about the debut?
I think it's fun. It's got a fun energy to it. Like, that's the thing. But if you're coming at it from 2 different angles, like, if you're looking at it from an energy perspective, this is a great advertisement for your gigs, to where it's like, oh fuck, I bet this goes off live. But at the same time, the songwriting isn't quite there yet. And when I listened to this album, I found myself thinking, they haven't quite hit their stride yet. This is, like you say, this is them in the rehearsal space figuring it out. Yeah. You know, and then you get Smell the Magic, Bricks of Heavy Hunger, Distinct Beauty Process. Like, those albums. Yeah. But this is very much formative years, L7. I mean, where is it? Let's look at the track list a minute. Like, it looks kind of all over the place. You've got like 3 songs in a row and they're all kind of like, it feels a little haphazard. But then you get the 6.5 minute Uncle Bob, you know, just out of nowhere. And the thing is, it's like, it does enter that realm of like a little doomier, a little heavier. But
and the production needs to be fuller and heavier, and it's not. So the production is not quite there yet. And because don't get me wrong, you know, another band, you know, from the era the Melvins, which we'll get to the Melvins one day, if they didn't have the right production on some of their albums, I'd feel the same way. Because there's Melvin songs that don't really go anywhere, but you get that right recording of
they sound crushing.
There's something about it that even the simplest song that they end up stretching to 8 minutes, it doesn't matter. Like it just something about it. They got the right. They captured it, as best they could. Anyway.
Yeah, it sounds fucking.
Eventually,
killer.
we got to get to Melvin's because that will be fun.
Yeah. Thing is, that's going to be. Do you think that will be a 3-parter? Because they got so much stuff.
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
Definitely a 2. Holy shit.
There's a lot of albums. Yeah. I do love the fact that Melvins have just become this thing where they just do whatever the fuck they want, and they just have different versions of the band. It's like the only member is Buzz, but it just things kind of switch around, and it's like this is the Melvins with a totally different bass player and drummer, and then this is Melvins with 2 drummers. This is it's like I love that they do that. This is like going a long way to be like, hey, join the L7 discussion where we talk about how great the Melvins are.
And the thing is, right, here's the thing. I feel like there's a lot of Melvins EPs as well.
Yeah, we don't really need to go into those because you've still got all of the full lengths and even so if we did just the full lengths, we could cut out a lot of stuff because it's it still would be a good discussion about their stuff if we just go with the full lengths.
Holy shit, they've got like 10 albums by the time you get to 97. And they've got like, hold on, wait.
Because they were even when they got signed to a major, they were still putting out indie albums in between.
Yeah. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, they just keep going.
Jesus Christ, look at this. Studio albums, 28. That's more than Kiss. If you add on the EPs, it becomes 34.
Yeah.
Additionally, compilation albums makes it 42. Jesus Christ, these guys are hardworking motherfuckers.
And still at it. Fucking at it. It gets overwhelming. Like if you're not keeping up with Melvins, it could be like the fucking Marvel universe where you're just like, wait, there's more of this.
I tell you
I literally just caught up to 1 movie last week, and now there's 4 more.
There are. Let me have a quick little look here because this always pops into my head when bands with insane fucking discographies.
Chicago.
I'm gonna go one step further. Buckethead.
Oh.
Yeah. Buckethead has 31 studio albums, but he's got here, was it Pike albums? Pike series. The Pike series are mini albums that Buckethead began releasing rapidly in 2011. Usually around 30 minutes in length, each has a sequential number like a comic book. Live Pikes are listed separately under live albums. Several Pike albums are unreleased. 286, 289, 290, 295, 513, and 525. Preview tracks from Pike's 286 Nautical Twilight, 289, and 290 are available online. All Pikes are released using the Buckethead Land label. Buckethead has released 380 studio Pikes. Jesus Christ, man. Wow.
That's a man who's devoted to what he does, and he just does it all the time.
Fuck, dude.
Those are the kind of people that make me feel like, oh, I was never really a good musician at all. Because I did not put in that much effort.
I'm not going to lie, man. Do you believe in fucking, we all believe in aliens at this point. I'm 100% sure that this guy is a fucking alien. Like, full-blown fucking fell to Earth and was like, I have the ability to slow down time,
Yeah.
And I can just do all this shit because I can move really fast.
Yeah.
God, what I'd do to have that power.
I would just like to have the time.
I'd be unfucking stoppable if I was fast.
Unlimited, not only just give me unlimited time, but the power to also expand time.
Yeah.
Because and shrink time, because there are some days that I would like to speed up, and then other days I'm like, hey, can we just make this one last longer? And
I'd be dead already. I get bored so easily.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
where were we? L7, the debut album from L7.
Yeah. That's my number 5, and I've kind of said my piece on that, so.
Okay, cool.
Over to you.
All right, we're blowing through these. My number 5 is Hungry for Stink from 1994.
Okay.
So this was when I jumped off, because I was a fan. I was an L7 fan, and I remember being at home, and I believe it was probably MTV, saw the premiere of the new L7 track, Andre, and I still think it's the worst song they ever did. It's
wow,
just,
okay.
it is bad. The riff is generic. The lyrics are bad. It's not a good first single for this album. And it's not a good opener for the album, because immediately you get the song Baggage, which fucking rules. So but it's just so weird how, like, yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, and I don't know if, like, the record label was like, well, this song's kind of fun and funny, so put this one out. And I'm all like, yeah, it just felt. In 1994, like, I was full on writing my own stuff, and I would hear a song like Andre and go, I could have literally just done this in 10 minutes and put it out. And so it kind of bummed me out. And so I never listened to this album until a while later. And honestly, like, it still didn't do a lot for me, because it's not much of a progression overall. There are some moments here and there where you hear them kind of doing a little bit, something different on a song, and I think that's great. But by this album, it's already getting to the point where their songs are too similar to other songs that they've done, and it gets to the point where I'm just like, are they just doing a new version of a song from another album? Because that's just how their songwriting went sometimes. But that being said, removing it from the discography, if you just throw this album on, this album is enjoyable. And it goes on a little bit long, but I really like Talkbox. Talkbox is great. And so it has its moments where I'm just like, oh, this is good. And then other moments where I go, eh. So it's kind of a downer in that respect. But yeah, on its own, removed from everything else, like, if I'm just throwing this album on independently, I'm going to have a good time, because it's still got that L7 vibe, that L7 sound that I really like. But it wouldn't be my go-to. Like, later on, we'll talk about the album that I would send somebody to that was new, like, what's L7 all about? Boom, this is the album you go to. It's, unfortunately, I don't think it's this one, even though it's not a bad one. But it suffers from that thing where when a band puts out an album that isn't enough of a progression from what they've already done, and then they're still kind of messing around with the similar songwriting style, it just gets a little bit muddy, and I just go, that's fine, but I feel like they did better than this. So that's my number 5.
I've often wondered as well if this album. By the way, this is my number 4. We've had an almost matchup.
Yeah, it's like a little staircase. Yeah. That was for that podcast listeners. He was doing. Yeah. I don't know what he was doing really. It was supposed to be like staircase.
I was doing this.
He's playing. It's like he's playing Qbert.
Is that the noise Qbert makes?
I don't really remember. I just remember Qbert. You're like hopping down.
He's got a fucking schnoz on him. He's going to be making some sort of.
I don't know. One of many games I played a lot when I was a kid, but then I totally forgot what it actually is.
Yo, you know what I played a shit ton of back in the day? I've got a PS1 game that I got for my 5th birthday. And it's Atari Classics Collection.
Ooh.
It's got fucking asteroids on it. It's got loads of stuff on it.
Does it have combat?
Is that the one with the tank?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got that. It's got Tempest. It's got
Yar's Revenge. That's a good one.
I don't know, but I tell you what it does have on it: Centipede. And I played a shitload of Centipede as a kid.
Yeah.
Actually, I tell you what, this is quite funny. My mum used to whip my ass at this game because she played it the first time around. So I remember, like, there were times I would get to, like, level 3 in Centipede and think I was doing well. And then she'd get to, like, level 10. And I'd think, oh, there's a pink one? Yeah. There's a pink one of these? What the fuck? But yeah, going back to L7.
Hungry for Stink.
Hungry for Stink is my number 4. Honestly, I think that this is a classic case of an album with a sequencing order that ain't right for the songs.
You could, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And like you say, with Andre coming into Baggage, I like Andre, but I get your critiques of it. I like it as a fun, jokey song, but as a lead single opener, I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah.
But fucking Baggage, The
Baggage
Bomb, Fuel My Fire, like, Fuel My Fire is buried way too late in the album. That should have been the fucking opener, as far as I'm concerned. But like you say, this album has peaks and troughs, and I think the troughs and the peaks are in the wrong places. But ultimately, like you say, this is still a perfectly enjoyable album. I'd give it here I am. I think this is the first time I've started assigning scores to shit. But I'd give this a 7 or an 8.
And we'll totally abandon it next time.
It will never come up again. But like, I'm seeing a lot of 4-star, 7 and 8 reviews, and I'm inclined to agree. I mean, it's not perfect, but the one thing it does have is that 1994, grunge vibe, to where things got a little bit tighter, but it's still very dirty and it's still very old school production style as of these days. Yeah. I'd still take this production over, most modern metal, mainstream modern metal over compressed stuff. So, think of that what you will. Other than that, I'm gonna hand things back over to you.
Cool. My number 4, Slap Happy, which was your number 7, from 1999. So this is their album after they got dropped from their label, the major distribution kind of deal they had going on, and so they're on an indie, which is like, I guess, also their own label. So I feel like it was a good thing for them because there's a raw but kind of punchy production that I think is really good for what they're doing, because even though this is a bit of a step back with their songwriting, it's still varied at times, which I like, but I think for what they're doing, it fits. Everything kind of works here, even if I don't 100% love it. They're not all winners, but I think, and I say this a lot for certain albums. When I listen to an album and I can hear the intent to create a good album when I listen to it, and I'm just like, I hear that here. I hear that they were all in with this, and it feels good. Plus, there's a song on here called "Stick to the Plan" that I fucking love.
Oh, and there's absolutely standout albums on this. Even if it is in my last place, it's still fucking great. Yeah,
and so and on they often have tracks that are ones that just click with me. But "Stick to the Plan" is just so good, and but yeah, overall, it feels like, they were annoyed at the whole major label experience, and there's a little bit of that attitude here, and it's nice because it just feels like a raw indie album that suits their style. That being said, though, the other stuff they did that's a little bit better produced than this. All right, the dogs are having a moment. They love Slap Happy. They're not.
They are very opinionated dogs.
They are, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, Slap Happy. I like things about it, but it ends up going at number 4 simply because the 3 albums, my top 3, each have a thing about them where I'm like, this is like them at the time that they did this. This was them doing the best shit they had. And I think my top 3, I would consider them classics. So
Yeah.
we're moving on to. Do we have the same top three? We do have the same top three.
We have the same top three.
Let's find out if we match up at all with these.
Okay. So, I feel like that there is every possibility that we will and every possibility that we won't.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
with that, my number 3 is The Beauty Process Triple Platinum.
Okay. Nope, we didn't match up here.
I was going to say, because this album is the one where, you know, they get a little weird with it, and I like it for that.
Mm-hmm.
But there is something that happens on Bricks Are Heavy and Smell the Magic that I just can't deny that my ears really, really like.
Yeah.
It's in a sweet spot, man. I can't...
Oh, I'm with you. I understand.
I can't shake it, but, I mean, we've ended at the same top 3, so...
Mm-hmm.
That being said, on the heels of the comparatively basic and, you know, less good Hungry for Stink,
Yeah.
they come out with potentially the most varied track list of any album they ever did. Like, there are a lot...
And, in my opinion, the best sounding. Like, fucking Rob Cavallo. Rob Cavallo is a fucking boss back around that time. Every album his name is on sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a very good sounding album. And very underrated, too.
I agree.
You know, because this album arrives after the kind of death knell of grunge, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, fucking hell, this album predates my birth by just over a year.
97 is an interesting, like, transitional year, because you do still have, you know, quote unquote grunge bands putting stuff out. But you're also passing over like Brit pop, and you're heading into new metal. It's a very interesting time for music.
Yeah, 97's always struck me as a very strange year, to where it's like it's not really got one foot in anything. It's like this spider that's got one foot in everything, and half the legs are in their infancy and half the legs are on their last legs. Excuse me, pardon me. With that, excuse me. Sorry, the beer must have caught up with me. So Beauty Process Triple Platinum, it's, you know, like I said, they're not afraid to get a little weird with it, and it is that thing of the thing I'm kicking myself for is when I first heard this album, I kind of wrote it off because I was like, I was hungry for that early 90s vibe.
Yeah.
I'm kicking myself now because I'm like, this is a good album that stands on its own outside of that, even if it has roots in that. So, oh, shit. This is carnage.
I'm like, that's like me for a second.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, I think this is the first album without Jennifer Finch, the OG bass player. But I mean, this album I feel like doesn't get the recognition and praise it deserves, and belongs quite high up, in my opinion. Yeah. So I'm sure you'll have far more to say, because to be honest, the Beauty Process is pretty new to me. I've only really grown this appreciation doing this ranking, so I'm excited to listen to it more. But ultimately, back over to you for what your number 3 is going to be, and I feel like I can guess what your number 3 is going to be.
Let's have a guess. What's my number 3?
Is it Smell the Magic?
It is Smell the Magic from 1990, and so I feel like if you're an L7 fan, this is kind of a no-brainer. This album it's a classic. Really huge improvement over the first one, which I had never heard. But then when I heard that the first L7 album, I was like, holy shit, they took a giant step. With Smell the Magic.
This is a Ride the Lightning times 10 situation.
Better songs, better performances, better production.
Blue album cover.
Yeah. And it's their Jack and Dino Sub Pop album.
Yeah.
which like if you are a band of any worth from the sub pop 90s era, you have an album produced by Jack and Dino. And this one's, I think, probably the only thing that it's this album is if it feels a little short. This album to me is like the album that they did that I almost feel like, and they may have also toured with them. It feels like it goes side to side with like the first Tad album. Like they're grungy, but also kind of weird. In like a really cool way. Like not weird as in the music's weird. They just seem like, these are some fucking weirdos making some heavy music. And it's not a very good description, but that's how I feel. It just has a really cool vibe to it. And it just feels like music from around this time, from that early, before grunge blew up. Like all of those albums from around that time, there's a thing going on where it's just like it sounds. It's interesting because it's independent music, but you can hear like it's almost like subconsciously all these bands knew that they were making amazing shit. Yeah, and the world just needed to catch up. And learn. And we did. We did. But yeah, Smell the Magic, I think, fits right there with all of those albums from the late 80s, early 90s of those bands. Tad and early Soundgarden and Bleach by Nirvana. All that stuff, you throw it all together, and I feel like it's all a very happy family of this cool, indie, grungy, heavy, slacker type metal stuff. Maybe not necessarily quote unquote metal in the same terms that other bands were doing metal in 1990, but yeah, it's just it's very enjoyable. And also on the very last track, there's vocals from Mike Patton, but not that Mike Patton, a different Mike Patton.
Imagine
it's so funny because
around that time
in the fucking credits, it just nonchalantly says backing vocals by Mike Patton, and I was like, what? And I had to fucking look it up to be like, oh, a totally different Mike Patton, but maybe they should say that. Not the Mike Patton, a Mike Patton, guys. Anyway.
While you were mentioning that, I've brought up Jack and Dino's discography.
Yes. Not only that, he was in one of those bands too. So he's like part of the family. He was
in Skinyard, right?
Skinyard, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, dude. Look at this. I mean, I'm going to list off the big names, but I mean, you've got Screaming Life, Soundgarden, Drives a Bone, Green River, Superfuzz, Big Muff, Mudhoney, Sub Pop 200, fucking all the Skinyard and Grunge Truck albums, God's Balls, Tad, Screaming Trees, Nirvana, like fucking, like you say, everybody had a Jack and Dino produced album, and there's such a cool sound to these albums to where it feels like competently produced but also really organic.
Yes.
There is this level of this sounds good, and it doesn't sound shitty, but it doesn't sound clean. Well, that's what I really liked.
It's like capturing rawness. You're not polishing out the rawness. Your production is highlighting it,
capturing all the raw. I like that.
Yeah, he did real good. He did good. Anyway, is that what is your number 2? Is that because I'm done with Smell the Magic? Is your number?
My number 2 is Smell the Magic.
All right, cool.
So this album for me, I had this. This was the first L7 album alongside Bricks Are Heavy. But I managed to get a hold of a CD of Bricks of Smell the Magic. Finding a CD of Bricks Are Heavy for some reason just never happened for a long time, up until like the last year.
Yeah.
So people remember I didn't get any streaming service until like 2017. So all of my formative years, I was very against the grain. I want to buy physical. I want to support the artist. You know, this music,
which
all
is
of the
good.
music.
Everybody should do that. Do that as much as you can.
I was a very ethical consumer for a 12-year-old. That being said, you know, I just remember thinking, fuck, this is so cool. Because it enters the realms of metal, but it's not metal, but it's not quite full-on punk. It is grunge, and grunge around the age of 14 really exploded for me, because for the last couple years I'd been entrenched in the thrash metal zone, and I was like, yeah, tremolo picking, fast riffs, crazy solos. And then I just really got into what was played on Radio X on San Andreas, and my uncle at the time had started a grunge covers band, and it was just kind of a perfect storm of, well, I really liked this, I'm going to check this out. Yeah. And it became potentially the most important music in my life. I would honestly say, even though Metallica I would consider my favorite band, I think grunge is my favorite era of any music ever, because not only do you have the grunge, you have the alternative metal stuff. My stance on it consists of any era where Primus is on a major label is absolutely batshit insanely good.
That's a good way to put it. Music was great when Primus was on a major. Are they not really? I mean, they're on their own label now. But they probably got major distribution, but yeah.
My stance on the matter is, name another time in history Primus would have been on a major label.
Oh, they wouldn't have.
Never.
They wouldn't
Not
now,
a million
for
years.
sure.
So there was something magical happening in the late 80s and the early 90s that just led to this fucking top tier era of music. And even a lesser known release such as Smell the Magic is still, in my eyes, just fucking killer. Like when I hear this, I'm back in teen me, where I'm hearing this something like fucking Just Like Me. Now, I have made a few discoveries in my life, and this is one of the ones that no one so far has had an answer to. Now, I really resonated with Just Like Me, with the riff. That is almost the exact riff to Milk, Ode to Billy, right? Which comes from a Stormtroopers of Death song.
It's a different it's a different SOD song. Is that March of the SOD?
No, it's not March of the SOD.
They play it at the end of Milk on the Attack of the Killer Bees version, but it's actually a different SOD song.
It's not March of the SOD because that was MTV.
It's a different song, but you're right. That's an SOD riff.
Yeah, and I just fuck it. And there's one note changed to where instead of it goes, but in the context of the riff,
that might be Milano Mosh. Maybe is that Milano Mosh? I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway,
all I know is this is one of those perfect examples of an album clocking in at less than 30 minutes, kicking it on, having it kick your ass for a half hour, and then this is one of those albums I can listen back to back twice, you know, and I just fucking love it. The energy here is unmatched. The production is a whole lot better. It has that spacious but heavy vibe. And there are some weird choices on it, like a slide guitar lead in Fast and Frightening. Yeah. Fast and Frightening has that cop chase energy that I was talking about earlier. I fucking love this album. I'm pretty sure it was released as an EP originally, and then the last 3 songs on it were added later.
Yeah, I think if I remember what I read, it was I think it was just on vinyl at first, and so it had a shorter runtime. And then I think once they put out CDs and other things, I think they added tracks to it. But then that just became the album proper. So I think it's just the early pressings that are shorter. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was already, it's short even now, but before it was even shorter. But yeah.
Yeah, it kicks ass.
Sub Pop is a label that has never not been interesting to me. I may not listen to as much on Sub Pop now as I used to. The band Metz are on there, and Metz are great. METZ, that band. But it's more few and far between. But I never hear anything that's on Sub Pop and go, well, this is shit. But it's interesting that they're a label that has remained pretty interesting, and I like that about them. Anyway,
I have a question as well. Do you know if the blue and pink version of the album cover, or just the blue version of the album cover, is the original? Because they have since come out with a re-release.
Pretty sure the original is the bluish green with the pink logo.
Yeah, I prefer the pink, honestly, because I think they've done a vinyl reissue and they changed it slightly. But I don't know. This is a case of me liking the original way it came out.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't for a long time. I didn't know this was the album cover because there was a club. I might still be there. There was a club in Austin called Beerland that we would go to and play shows at and stuff. And they had a poster on the wall that had that image of the woman with the guy's head in her lap.
Yeah.
And it said "Smell the Magic," and I was like, I thought that was the album cover because, like, why would that not be the album cover? Because that's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if maybe that was an image from something else that they did. But I was
definitely on a T-shirt.
Yeah. So, but I do like this album cover too, because sometimes a band photo, if done well and in the right era, it looks very cool. So, but other times they're kind of lame. There are some lame band on album covers. It's very lazy.
Yeah, is it weird that around there's just something happened where graphics happened in the 90s that aged fucking horribly, and it's like there's this element of I don't really forgive a band photo album cover past around 94 because it becomes so fucking apparent that the graphics age poorly, whereas you show me something like L7 Smell the Magic and I'm like, oh, that's a snapshot of an era that kicked ass. Whereas you show me fucking artwork from certain albums from the late 90s and I think this is aged like shit.
Yeah, I don't even like the first Candlebox album cover. I look at that and I go, this is fucking lazy. Because it's just a fucking photograph and they literally just have the photograph in photograph size with black bars on the top and bottom. I'm like, no, come on, you can do better than that. But I don't know.
That album does sound fucking
the album's fucking great, but every time I see that cover, I'm like, God, there could have been a really better cover for this, or done something else with the photo shoot of that same thing. But I don't know.
A go-to for me would be doing what they did with Bleach and just make it like a photo negative where they swap the fucking...
Sure. So that one is literally just a photo as well, but the way that they did that, it adds some sort of iconic edge to it. My favorite band, some of my favorite band on cover album covers is the first, it may be just the first 2 or 3 Cheap Trick albums, where the way that they're designed, it's the 2 really good looking members on one side, and then you have to flip it over for the other 2. And I was like, they did that on purpose because it's 2 albums in a row where they're like, nope, it's the good looking long haired guys on the front.
So hold on, let me have a look here. Yeah, In Color is definitely one of them where they're on the fucking bikes.
Yeah, and then you flip over and it's the other 2 dudes. Same thing.
Heaven Tonight, yeah.
Because you do have the two main dudes, or I think it was the bass player and Robin Zander. They looked like rock stars, beautiful fucking rock stars. And then you had the drummer who looked like an old professor or some shit. And then you had Rick, what's his name, the guitar player, who was he always just looked kind of goofy. But I loved that's one of the reasons why that band fucking ruled, because there was that combo of full-on rock and roll rock star and the weirdo element, which I fucking love. Those first like 4 or 5 Cheap Trick albums, so good, so fucking good. Anyway,
that's a band we got to cover at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Where were we? Did you finish?
I will be the flame.
That's a little later, but I always had a problem with that song because it sounds too much like Eternal Flame.
Yeah.
Eternal flame.
Yeah.
I will be the flame. Okay, well, somebody's flaming. Anyway.
At least they didn't call it Under the Gun.
Yeah. Anyway. Can I go? Is it time for my number 2?
Yeah, it's time for you. Take it number 2, man.
All right, so my number 2, The Beauty Process, triple platinum from 1997. Now, here's the thing about this album. When we get to my number 1, which is our joint number 1, obviously, when we get to that, I have a lot of reasons why that's my number 1. But The Beauty Process is so good that it should be number 1 somehow. It's not only does it sound amazing, it's one of those albums from the 90s that I could just put it there and be like, you see how good music used to fucking be recorded? You see this? And it helps because Rob Cavallo's production really brings out the energy of the band, even in an album like this, where they're veering off a little bit in these different directions that they didn't do before, but it still keeps a really good energy to it the whole time. And you know me, I love an album is a good progression from what they had done before, and this is absolutely it. But not only that, I feel like it's a huge improvement in songwriting, and I don't know, the only gripe I can have for this album is the same gripe I have for pretty much everything they've done, where there's intentional recycling of their own riffs because they're dealing with this sort of simplistic kind of writing. Because I'll hear a riff and I'll be like, oh, well, the difference in this song is that this riff is played on an acoustic guitar, but I'm pretty sure they already did a song with this riff on electric guitar. But it's just one of those things. Because now, like in 2025, that happens all the fucking time. I'll just be in a fucking restaurant or a store and I'll hear like some newer like pop or rock song and I'll be like, they literally just lifted a fucking riff from like another song, and then I have to think and go, ow, but that song is like 30 years old, so these people probably don't even fucking know that existed. And it's probably a great minds think alike. It's a simple combination of notes in this particular, So I go, all right, well maybe they didn't know. And not everybody can know everything, unfortunately. Because I don't know everything. I know far from everything. But that's the one thing that I hope AI helps out with, is people start like loading their songs into AI and be like, hey, does this sound too similar to something that was already made that was prominent and popular? And AI will be like, yep, write some better shit. Anyway, I don't know. Don't do all your shit in AI.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Here's the thing, right? AI's here. It's Pandora's box has been opened.
Yep.
The key thing is to use it to get the ball rolling, and then you take over from there.
Yeah.
That's my stance on the whole matter.
It should be an aid, like you have your own assistant, but you're the driving force.
If you need a little push in a certain direction to help you, get a footing, by all means do that. But don't rely on AI to do fucking everything for you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's the value of it goes.
It's really good for me for it took a little bit of the load off of me for doing like promotional stuff for all the old head things, because sometimes it just helps me create a different and interesting looking image for something where I was just posting the same stupid shit that I put together in Photoshop over and over again. And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because, you know, I don't make any money. I barely make any money from what I do. And I definitely don't have money to hire artists. And I'm not an artist. I'm horrible at even graphic art. Like the shit that I put together on my own, it's passable. But so that's why I think that, you know, I think the problem is that AI is so great for certain things and so horrible for other things.
That's the thing.
It's just, so it's gotta, I don't know where we're going to go. I'm really fascinated to see what happens. It would not surprise me if all of a sudden there becomes like laws, like specific laws in place about certain things with AI.
The rate at which this specific beast is improving and learning, I think some legal shit is right around the corner. Frankly, I think from what I've seen, I mean, fucking hell. The thing I keep coming back to is the Will Smith eating spaghetti video from 2022, where it's just this janky. It's like, it's clearly Will Smith, but he's kind of fucked up. His mouth sometimes is over here.
I miss that stuff so much. That's the stuff. The weird stuff is actually so enjoyable.
Yeah, but like, the thing is now, you type in Will Smith eating spaghetti, and it will just make you a flawless video of him whipping it onto a fucking fork and just eating a meatball and some spaghetti.
And then he goes, keep my spaghetti out your fucking mouth.
Yeah. But the crazy thing is, right, back in the day, technological advancements took a decade at least.
Yes.
It learned how to do that in 3 fucking years, if that, 2 at most.
Yeah.
And what the thing is, and the internet and AI as a combo is a double-edged sword, to where it comes down to, yes, it can be very helpful, but how many jobs are going to be rendered completely null and void by this shit?
Yeah.
Like,
I think we talked about this before. I think in certain respects, there's going to be a backlash to it, to where people will be like going, if they can afford it, they'll be going to actual artists, and they'll be very vocal about, you know, here's our new album cover, you know, drawn by an actual artist whose name is this. You know, it's like, I feel like there might be a push to be more authentic, but I think,
how insane is that we've ended at this point? You know, it's nuts. Like, sometimes I stop and think about the sheer technological advancement in my lifetime. I've been alive for 27 years.
Yeah.
When I was born, my home movies when I was born were recorded on a VHS-C camcorder.
Yeah.
Right? Within 12 years of that happening, iPads existed.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the 2000s are, in my eyes, an absolutely fucking insane, pardon my French, clusterfuck of just, holy shit, we have.
Do you know what show you're on? Do you not have to pardon any French on this show? This show is French, like, all the time. Bonjour.
Baguette. Yeah. Anyway, I know, I just I landed on a few F-bombs in a row there. And I know.
It's good to not get used to cussing all the time, because I know sometimes I'm in public and I'm all like, I'll just be talking to my wife and I'll be like, look at this shit. And my wife's like, there's fucking people around. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess not everybody talks the way I talk.
Not everybody expects Hetfield circa 91.
Yeah.
How the fuck we fucking doing, you fucking nutcases? You know, but like, cycling back around, like, I think about the amount of, I mean, holy shit. You look at the 70s, 80s, and 90s, tape was a status quo, right?
Yeah.
In the 2000s, by the end of it, physical media was up in the air. Like,
yeah.
And the fact it's still around.
Yeah.
is just testament to the loyalty of people who know how things work, and I think as well, you know, even down to CDs. I still buy CDs. I still buy tapes. I still buy vinyl. And and I've said this before on the show, I use streaming as a window shopping exercise to be like, you know, I listen to music on streaming, and if something is out of my price range, I have to settle on the streaming. However, given the opportunity to have something physical on top of the convenience of having the streaming, I will purchase the quite simply art that was made, you know, regardless of its, you know, critical reception.
Whenever I really like something, I want to hold it. That's the thing.
Exactly.
And so because, like, you know, music is such an important thing to me, that's my collecting vibe, because like I'll hear something and I'll go, oh, this is really good. I want to hold it. And so, like, that's what happens. That's what it is. It's like, it's me. That's the most basic way to put it. I like something so much that I just want to hold it, and and physically put it on to listen to it. So and I have CDs, but they're, you know, most of the time
CDs nuts.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Nice.
Sorry.
They're like stuff that isn't on vinyl for the most part. Yeah, and it's the same sort of thing where I go, oh, I love this one, so I'm going to buy the CD because I want it in my hand.
Oh, speaking of which, a job I have for this evening, by the way.
Oh shit!
I did a little bit of a major score. I have some CDs here.
Oh,
and most of these I got for £2 each.
Nice.
Scorpions' Crazy World.
Okay, all right. So far, not so good.
Billy Idol, Charmed Life.
We're getting better. We're getting better there.
John Fogerty solo album, 86.
I don't think I've ever heard that, but okay.
Mesmerized, System of a Down.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Little Angels, Jam.
I don't even think I know that.
UK hard rock glam metal era.
I've heard the band name, but I don't know if I know any of their stuff offhand.
Misfits, Static Age.
Static Age, nice.
Pendulum, CCR.
Okay, yeah, that was the one that I liked a lot, right? Pendulum.
Yep. And finish off, we've got Asia live at Budokan.
Damn. All right.
So,
Asia, another band I don't really know much about.
That's a band we need to do, because
did Asia do Heat of the Moment? Is that Asia?
Heat of the Moment.
It's a good song, man. Undeniable good song.
Yeah, they're what is it? Roger Dean, who does the artwork for Yes, and also Asia, for the most part, I think. There's what is it? What's it called? Alpha, the second Asia album, is one of my favorite album covers of all time, just because of how over the top sci-fi jungle pyramid vibe it is.
Yeah.
That's definitely one I'll shout out at some point. We got to do an Asia episode, man. We got to do a Yes episode,
Jesus, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, I'm sorry. Back to the beauty process.
Yes.
So yeah, I really like this album, even though it's less heavy. But it's enjoyable in its variety and its adventurousness, and it's got the songs to back it up. Like, it's, you know, I already appreciate bands doing something different, but when you actually have some great songs in there as well and a great production, you've nailed it, in my opinion. But it isn't my number one, because I have reasons for my number one, which is our joint number one. So let's get into Bricks Are Heavy from 1992.
Okay. Bricks Are Heavy, third album. The one with Pretend We're Dead on it. Here's the thing. It also has Wargasm, Scrap, Diet Pill, Everglade, Slide, One More Thing, Mr. Integrity, Monster, Shit List, This Ain't Pleasure.
Produced by Butch Vig.
Yep. This album
coming off hot from Nevermind at this point.
Yeah. This album fucking rules, man.
Yeah. It sounds great. It's got a great like variety of songs while still keeping it sort of a heavy, cohesive, alternative rock kind of vibe. Yeah, this album's a total nostalgia trip. But the reason why I ended up putting it at number one is mostly because I think out of everything they did, it is the best example of what L7 are. And it was my intro to the band, but I believe it should be everyone's intro to the band. You get into the band however you do, because obviously if you're older, you probably get in and Smell the Magic or even earlier. But I just think everything is just kind of right here. For like the sound that L7 is known for, this is the best representation of that. And the songs are fun. They ripped off my very first song I ever wrote. I don't know how I got a copy of that, but Shit List is a ripoff of Coming Back from Hell. I have proof. But it's great, and at this point they run Slash Records, which is not owned by Slash from Guns N' Roses. But Slash was an interesting label too, because it was Faith No More were on there too. But they were like technically indie, but they had major label distribution, and I think eventually were kind of run by a major, even though they were still technically indie. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Bricks Are Heavy is just one of those albums. Like I said, I'm literally like walking down the hallway right next to I was in theater. I was a theater kid for for a little bit of junior high, and then the first couple years of high school I was in theater, and we had like a classroom where we kind of all met, and then down the hall there was an actual theater. But I literally remember walking down the hallway on my way to the theater class with Bricks Are Heavy playing on my Walkman. Nice. I don't know why that image it's so clear in my head. Yeah, certain music just transports you, and there's something about, and I really think, because I've read it before, that age, so in 92 I would have been 14 years old, I think. Yeah, 14. That time period, 13, 14, 15, I believe they say it's like your brain is still forming, and so things that are important to you that you take into your brain at that time, I really think that they somehow become a part of your, whatever the pleasure portion of your brain is. And so I think that's why movies and music and other things from when you're a teenager, they always feel it's really weird to like listen to something or watch something and say, I feel it, but there's no other way to put it. You feel it. And I love that. That's like it's a mystery of the human body and the human brain, but it's amazing. Like that's one of those, that's why I think, that's like evolution. When I go, well, this is good. I'm glad I live now, where we have evolved into these beings where some of us use our brains for good, others not so much. But I love that. I love that feeling you get when you put on certain albums. I was telling you, the other day, like, the first Pearl Jam album, first Candlebox. So it's all early 90s, but there's all that early 90s stuff. And some albums specifically it just feels great. And this is one of them. Bricks Are Heavy is one of them, that it feels good. It's just hard to explain, but also it's a good sounding album with good songs.
Yeah. You've said everything pretty much I was going to say. It's a good sounding album with good songs.
Yeah.
And you know what else I've just remembered? We often talk about the whole Lane and Jerry, Beatles and Kiss multiple singer thing.
Yeah.
I can't believe we've not brought this up. So, so these are credits adapted from the liner notes of the album. And so Donita Sparxx, no relation, does I've waited the whole episode to say that.
I love it.
So Donita Sparxx, guitar and lead vocals tracks 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 10. Susie Gardner, guitar, lead vocals tracks 6, 9, and 11. Jennifer Finch. I didn't realize that Jennifer Finch's parts were hers. I thought it was just Donita and Susie Gardner.
Yeah.
But Jennifer Finch does lead vocals on Everglade and One More Thing.
Oh, I don't think I knew that either.
Wow.
I guess it makes sense because now that yeah.
I like that. I like the dynamic of there being multiple singers.
Oh,
with
I
multiple
fucking
different...
love that. I wish more bands did that.
Yeah. I fucking love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love bands with multiple singers. Don't get me wrong. There are some bands with one singer, and that guy's enough. You know, Rob Halford's a good example of that. You don't need any other singers in that band. I think that guy's become my fucking hero. Just because, him in this period of his life, because he's in his 70s now.
Yeah.
And I'll just see footage of him on stage, and I'm just like, that dude is literally going to fucking rule until he dies. And and he doesn't seem like an old man on stage. Like, obviously he has limitations now because he's older or whatever. But I'm just like, what is it like to be in your 70s and still just knock it out of the park? Because I would say even fucking Bruce Dickinson now, I'll hear him and go, something's not clicking here with Bruce. He's fine, but there's something about that band that hasn't aged well in certain respects. But Judas Priest, especially Rob Halford, I just look at that guy and I'm just like, that is, when it comes to an older rock star guy, he's become my hero. Where I'm just like, everything about that, I'm just like, that dude just defied. You just like, literally, there's nobody like him. You know, a lot of people try to be like him, but
here's my stance on Rob Halford. He is the Freddie Mercury of heavy metal.
Sure.
I'm gonna come right out and say it. I've held this mindset for a long time. You know, he is the insanely powerful, you know, vocalist of the genre. And, you know, granted, thankfully Halford is still with us.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not even talking from like the standpoint of they're both gay men. I'm talking from the standpoint of they're both just such flamboyant characters that embody the spirit of the very thing they've come to symbolize. You know, I've always had a strong appreciation for Rob Halford myself.
Which it's an interesting that you brought that up, because pretty soon we got Queen. I don't know when are we doing Queen?
Yeah. We are going to do Queen
very soon. I don't know how soon, but you know,
let's have a look here.
It's coming up. Stay tuned.
Allow me to consult the schedule.
Hold on a second before we do that. I'm sorry, we already forgot this. So Bricks Are Heavy.
Yep.
Our joint #1 L7 album. All right, nice. Now we can move on to...
Every once in a while, we like to get a little wasted. We like to take a taste of alcohol.
That was Eddie having the last bit of his beer. And then just for shits and giggles, you know...
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only going to tell you one time.
I don't know if the microphone picked up any thudding noises, but
I didn't hear
I felt like I had to grab it in that moment.
Schedule. This is the part for the peanut butter platypuses, aluminium squirrels, Belvedere ball sitters, Christmas dogs. Yeah. Who are the people that stick around. If you stick around for an entire episode, you are immediately grandfathered in. I guess not grandfathered. You're initiated. You're initiated in to the gang as a peanut butter platypus, and then the other ones are just kind of like different names. Just depending on how you feel. Because I want everyone to have a choice. If anyone comes up with another name that they like, just put that in the comments somewhere, and maybe we'll incorporate that. But anyway, so this is where you guys get a little bit of behind the scenes, where we have a little meeting to say, hey, what do we got coming up in the world of Cranked and Ranked?
Well, the wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers are wonderful things. That has nothing to do with what I'm about to talk about. But I just felt like saying
ranking all of the Winnie the Pooh stuff. Why is he a poo? I don't know anything about that character. What is a poo? Like, why is it called Winnie the Pooh? Because he's a bear. Why is he a poo? What the fuck is a poo?
I have no idea why that was the first place my mind went. It just felt right.
That's a weird. That's like, yeah, he's the first. Yeah. Like, he was like way before Megan Thee Stallion or Chance the Rapper. You had Winnie the Pooh, but what the fuck is a poo?
This feels like one of those lyrics that works better when you don't think about it.
Yeah. Anyway, our schedule.
Yes.
Looking at the schedule,
we have Kiss live albums.
Oh, I have to talk to you about that.
Okay, so it's up in the air right now.
No, it's not up in the air. But I mean, I have a very important question.
Okay.
What all albums does that entail? Because because there's also what originally was supposed to be Alive 4, which ended up being Alive the Millennium Concert, and then there's what became Alive 4, which is Symphony.
Yeah. How about we treat everything that has Alive next to it?
Google that before you say that.
Oh fuck! Does that take into account all of the off the soundboard?
No,
stuff
but there's
well?
other Alive like CDs that have been put out.
Kiss band live albums.
Because I know that there's other Alive ones.
So there's Alive the Millennium Concert, Alive 2, Alive 3, Alive 35, Alive 75 to 2000. That's just a compilation of all the Alive albums.
Yeah.
Kiss Instant Live, Kiss Rocks Vegas, Sonic Boom Over Europe.
Yeah, those aren't Alive. So I guess there's just that other Alive album, which is like Alive 35. But
yeah,
because at first I was like, oh, clearly there's only 4, and then I was like, oh wait, the Millennium Concert was intended to be Alive 4. And wasn't for some reason.
You know what? I've thought about it.
Just forget the whole thing.
Judging by what we have here there is a Wikipedia category of 12 official live Kiss albums.
Oh shit, that's too many.
It is quite a lot. It says Alive, Alive 2, Alive 3, Alive the Millennium Concert, Kiss Alive 35, Instant Live.
The Symphony isn't in there?
Rocks Vegas, I'm getting there. Sonic Boom Over Europe, Symphony, Alive 4, Kiss Unplugged. You wanted the best, you got the best. So...
yeah, it's like, where do we...
I guess anything that has Alive on it, maybe. Would you reckon?
Yeah. How many is that? 5, 6?
That's Alive 2, 3, 4 Symphony, the Millennium Concert, and Alive 35.
Okay.
That's 6.
I'm down for that. I've never heard Alive 35.
You know what? Just for shits and giggles, can we throw Unplugged in there?
Sure.
Because Unplugged is significant in getting the band in a new era.
Yeah.
So we've counted Unplugged for other bands as well.
Okay.
Cool. So that's the 6 Alive albums and Unplugged.
I want to know what is Alive 35?
Alive 35.
I want to make sure that it's even worth us talking about.
It's a series of 2 CD live albums, each containing a recording of a complete set from a European show on the Kiss Alive 35 World Tour from 2008. The second set of recordings from the North American leg of this tour was released in 2009. So it's a double.
A series.
Oh, they're not that long.
A series of 2 CD. Okay. Okay. Okay, but so I almost feel like these aren't like, I don't know. I feel like these aren't a significant release. But you could say the same thing about the Millennium Concert. That wasn't I don't remember there being a big deal when they released that. But it was released in the Alive box set, I believe, though. So that does kind of count.
I feel like, hang on, let me have a look at the Kiss Alive 75 2000. Okay, you've got Alive, Alive 2, Alive 3, and Alive the Millennium Concert. So that's intended to have been Alive 4.
Yeah. So maybe let's just not even fuck with Alive 35, because what the fuck is that even? Let's just do the 4 Alives, Millennium Concert, and Unplugged.
Okay, I like that.
We make the Symphony? Fucking rules around here.
You want to count Symphony? Because it's got...
Yeah.
Cool.
Why would we not count that? It's live, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking of Millennium Concert as well. So we've got Alive, Alive 2, Alive 3, Alive the Millennium Concert, Alive 35, Unplugged. 6 releases,
No, not
right?
Alive 35. We're doing Symphony.
No,
Symphony.
I said the wrong thing.
Unplugged. 6.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
6.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't do this anymore. I turned these off.
Because
they were accidentally going off when I was like doing like an interview or something. And I'm like, maybe not.
Dude, I'm loving how much Smurl from Summon Bonham is loving Cranked and Ranked. He's been listening to our stuff.
He watches all of our stuff.
Yeah, I'm keen to I'm keen to see where that show goes as well. I was watching it earlier while I was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2.
The Cocoon one?
The Cocoon Rambo one. I love that.
I feel like we did really good actually having a topic, because as much as I enjoyed the first few episodes where there were no topics, I got to the point where I'm like, this is a little bit much to ask people to watch, because there's you don't know what the fuck you're getting into, and it's just 2 dudes talking. But I feel like if there's something that we're there to do, then it's, plus I don't talk about movies that much. So I'm like, shit, we might as well.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, so that wraps up. So next time we're going to talk about some Kiss live albums and ranking some Kiss live albums.
And then right after that, we have 1984.
Oh.
Followed by Queen parts 1 and 2.
Okay. All right. So we've got some shit to look forward to. Some Kiss live albums. Our top 10 favorite albums of 1984, which you can bet your ass that the album 1984 is going to be somewhere in that episode.
Yeah.
And then Queen, which is going to be a 2-parter, because they've got a lot of albums and they deserve a little bit more time. And I think Queen fans would agree. So that's fun. So yeah, next time you see us, we're going to have another Kiss discussion. So
and also as well, while we're here, sorry I cut you off.
Sure.
We also have Slashed and Mashed, Blaze Bayley, Era Maiden.
Looking forward to that.
We also have Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh man.
GTA Vice City radio stations.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's gonna be really fun.
Yep.
Firehouse.
Finally.
Clan, and 2015. That's the next 10 episodes we have lined up, and I'm keen to see where things go.
Yep, because you never know. Sometimes we switch things up. Sometimes we get an idea and we just shove it in there because we make the rules around here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it for this episode of Cranked and Ranked. L7.
Cool.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for... Let's do that again. Excuse me. Thank you very much for listening in the podcast world. And watching on YouTube. And we love you and appreciate you. And we'll be back soon with another episode. But as usual, I'm going to end the episode by throwing it over to Mr. Eddie Sparxx to take us out.
Later, dude. Later, dude. Later, dude. Later, dude. And
I don't even know what that dance was. That dance was awful.
it was great.